Hannah, have you started your Christmas quilting list?
Not yet. Do you have any ideas?
Yes, we are going to show you 5 must-try Christmas patterns.
Oh, good idea. Keep watching.
Hi, it's Fran Morgan.
And Hannah with Fabric Cafe.
And it is that time of year that we're super busy and we're starting to plan all of those Christmas projects.
Yep. You've got project after project, changing decor, gifts for people. It's a great time.
So much. So we are going to share with you 5 of our favorite patterns for Christmas this year. So let's jump in and check out the first one. This one is Christmas Forest, and this is definitely one of my favorites. It has all of these cute trees, and as you can see, it's a double focus, and we're using the half rectangle for these. So it's absolutely darling. Have this great fabric. Let's put it on the table and check it out. Now, Hannah, this is some of my favorite Christmas fabric.
It's so gorgeous with the touch of metallic in there.
Ooh, I love the metallic. And that number 2 has a little metallic too, which really makes it special. And holly is such a good traditional icon, I guess, for Christmas. It's just such a great print. Everybody loves holly at Christmas. So it's got the great touches of red and green. And in the background of this, there's a little bit of a shadow of an evergreen tree, which I really like. You can see those needles.
Yeah.
And this is our focus, and it's going to go, of course, in one of the trees. We also have it in the alternate block as a little tree trunk and on the border. And I think it looks great, especially because we've put it with its look-alike with a different background color. So here is our number 2. Now, our number 2 is our white, and it has a dot on it that is metallic, that picks up all of the metallic in the holly. And of course, here's our background. Really nice contrast, really nice pop. So those trees really show up.
It's got just enough interest without being overpowering.
Thank you, it does it. As we say here, we never want number 2 to be boring. We want that interest, but we need the contrast. So this one's perfect for that, so good point. Now our number 3 is another holly that looks very similar to our number 1 here, our focus. And we have got that in our alternate tree here. And then it's in the alternate block, the first block as the tree trunk, which is kind of fun. And then, of course, on the border and binding.
Well, and you mentioned while you were at the quilt that this is made with a half rectangle. So if you've never tried a half rectangle, we've got a great tutorial. You should check it out. But I'm also curious, for those people who have tried half rectangles versus half square triangles. What are your opinions? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would love to know that too. I like half rectangles because for me, I feel like it gives me a little different something to do because sometimes when we do things too redundantly, you kind of go, okay, I'm ready for something else. So it's really fun. But it just creates a pattern that you can't create otherwise.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is really darling. I love this kit. I love the metallic and the holly. Let's get that kit information for you. It is called Frosted Forest, which is the perfect name, and it's 8023018. And once again, this is our Christmas Forest pattern.
This pattern is called Louvers, and I think it's got this really nice kind of modern design going on where it's got a little bit of an asymmetrical optical illusion, but what I think makes it perfect for Christmas is it almost looks like you're looking out a window. So you're like peeking out at the snow or a little penguin party outside on the skating rink maybe. So it's just so perfect and cute and quaint. So let's put it up on the table and look at our fabric. All right, so like I said, this pattern is kind of like a window. So it gives this perfect little spot to show off a nice focus fabric.
Yes, and the penguins are so cute, and you're right, it is a penguin party on this. These are darling.
And this is my kind of Christmas fabric. I love the kind of like little cutesy, fun, cheerful stuff. That's my go-to.
Okay, I'm going to start my list over here. Hannah likes the penguins.
Yes, they're so adorable. And there's also, you can see they're like in different outfits.
Oh,
and there's little snowmen.
I love it. It's a penguin Santa and a penguin snowman. That is so cute. Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yep. So our snowmen and penguins and everyone are going to go in our nice bit block right here, and a little touch on the border, which is a fun little break up to the red and green. And then we've got a red, which is, it's kind of like a snowflake starburst. And that's going to go everywhere your number 2 is, making this nice kind of optical illusion look.
Very cute.
Look like you're looking out.
It does. It really, really does.
And it pops up all of the different reds in their clothes and outfits and stuff.
Love it.
Then we have a green, which is the same print as our red, but is a different shade, which I really like doing with your matchers. If you really want your focus to show up, I think it's a good way to complement it.
Absolutely, I agree. And it keeps that continuity in the quilt too, I think, just repeating those elements. So I think it's really darling. And you know what's really fun to do whenever you're doing Christmas quilts in the winter? Is to add a great flannel to the back instead of a traditional cotton.
Ooh.
Because when you do that, it makes it just a little bit kind of cozier. And we have something great for you. So we have a couple of flannels here. We have this white with the snowflake, which would be great for this. But we also have one with a red snowflake, which is fabulous. Now
And so
these,
soft.
they're so soft, and it makes your quilt so cuddly. And we have these available by the yard on our website. Just go to fabriccafe.com, click on that fabric tab, and these will be in the by the yard section.
Amazing.
I'm going to do that for my Christmas quilts this year because there's nothing more cozy and cuddly than a flannel on the back of your quilt, and it would be perfect.
I've never done this before, but I think this is gonna, now I'm adding to my list. Flannel backing. It's
Flannel
brilliant.
backed quilt for Fran. Okay.
Yeah, and it would be perfect. All those snowflakes would be so perfect, either color,
It
with
really
this wonderful little. Pick up these snowflakes. It'd be perfect.
So cute. I like this kit so much in this pattern.
So let me give you the kit information. It is 8022533 Penguin Party, and that pattern is Louvers. That pattern is only available in the Quilts on the Double book, so our alternate pattern suggestion is bold blocks.
Now this is our Heartland pattern, and I think this pattern is perfect for Christmas, certainly one of our go-tos. And I think it's because it has that great traditional feel with this shoe fly block here, as well as the focus fabric, which is the black on this quilt, is bordered by our number 3, so it really helps to highlight it. It's rooted in tradition, and I have some great vintage style fabric for this that I would love to share with you. So let's get this quilt on the table. So to me, Christmas is definitely a holiday that is rooted in tradition, has a lot of family special traditions that we all have. And
Nostalgia.
Absolutely. So a vintage Christmas fabric is perfect for this. And this pattern has that kind of traditional vintage feel, which I think go together perfectly.
Absolutely.
So what we've got here is we have our vintage toys, and this is so very cool. And I even like the way this fabric is printed, because the reason why it kind of looks a little bit different, maybe not as crisp, is because it is mimicking a vintage fabric, which I think is great. We have some newspaper print in the background here. Basically what this is it's like little advertisements for the toys that are shown. So it's really, really sweet, and it really has that great feel.
It almost makes me think like the kids saw the magazine or the newspaper and they were like, this is the toy I want for Christmas, and they clipped it out and they made a little poster
so
with all of their pastings on it, like, here you go, Mom, Dad.
Yep,
Christmas
that's
list
exactly
this
right.
year.
And a kitty, who doesn't want a kitty for
Oh
Christmas?
yeah, I always want a kitty for Christmas.
I want a kitty any time of year. Okay, but it's really darling. So this is our focus fabric, and it's going to go in this block where the black is here and on the border, which is perfect because, as you can see, it's bordered with our number 3 that we're going to show you in just a minute. Now, our number 2 for this is, it's a dot, but it also has like a little hash mark in the background, which is really perfect because the dot areas pick up the lighter parts of our vintage style fabric. And then, of course, the hash mark picks up the darker, kind of like the newsprint.
The text, yeah.
So it kind of coordinates those colors, which is great. Now that's going to go in the background of our shoe fly block and on our border, which is perfect. And then we have this great red. Now, this is the perfect red because it has light reds and dark reds, and it goes all in between, the mediums, everything. which is going to pick up all the different shades of red in our vintage style fabric. Now this is going to be our shoe fly block here, our square and our half square triangles, as well as the border for our vintage fabric.
Oh, that's just gonna look so fun.
It is, and it's just going to have that vintagey feel, almost like this quilt has been around for 100 years, which is something I really like at Christmas. Those
It's
older
homey.
things, those memories.
I mean, those are my favorite decorations too, my little keepsakes. Or
Yes.
so my favorite thing putting out when I was a kid, decorating at my mom and dad's, was pulling out their old keepsakes.
Okay, so I'm just a little bit older than you are. And I pull out all of my kids' ornaments. And it's always like every time, it's like each year you pull them out and you just remember when they received them, what was happening, and you remember the person. And I think that that's part of the tradition. Do you have any Christmas traditions? Do you have that special ornament that you're always so happy to see each year?
So sweet.
We would love to hear that. All right.
Now, we have an image of this, don't we?
We do. So
you
let's
can
check
see
that
how
out.
good
And
it looks.
it really, really looks sweet. I love it, and I love this vintage style fabric. I think it works so well in the pattern, and it really does have that pop so you can see your shoe fly, as well as that wonderful traditional feel, which is so good. All right, let's get the kit information on this. The number is 8023236. And it's called A Christmas Around the Corner, and it is. And this is our Heartland pattern from the Pretty Darn Quick book.
This pattern is Twinkles, and there's nothing quite like a star block to make it just scream Christmas to me. You know, you're looking at the stars, or you've got a star on your tree. And this one I think is extra fun because it can kind of become a snowflake or a star, kind of whatever fabric you put in it. So it's really versatile. And we've got a nice large block here so that you can show off a really big Christmas print. So let's check out the fabric. So this fabric is another one of the kind of fabrics that I lean to more. It's a little non-traditional in the way that it's not just red and green.
Oh, that's a good point.
Which I really like. What about y'all? Are you like red, green, traditional, or do you like to go a little bit off the beaten path? There's no wrong answer. We're just curious.
And you know, I heard that this year the color for Christmas trees is purple. I know, it's crazy. What do you think about that? So personally, I love this touch of blue in this because the berries in this are blue, and I love that.
It's just so, I don't know, it's fun, it's classy, but it's also like a little modern. It just kind of, it can go with whatever your aesthetic is.
True.
So,
I agree. I agree.
And it's a nice big print, so you got a nice big shot of your poinsettias and your flowers. And that goes in your nice big block, so you really get to see those different colors, which I love that. There's so many pops.
So pretty, so pretty.
Then your number 2 fabric it's a white snowflake and star on kind of a cream. So that will go in your number 2 position so that both your focus and your number 3 really like pop off the quilt.
Perfect.
Then we've got our number 3, which brings that blue in. Oh, and it matches the snowflake that's in the focus.
I
And
love that.
It's so good. It'll go here in your border as well as in your block.
I think it's perfect. Like you mentioned, it can be a snowflake or it could be a star or anything, and it has a lot of movement, and it's great.
Yeah, lots of
Really
movement.
great.
Which is
And
so
you
great.
know, this is another one that I think that flannel snowflake fabric would be great on the
Yes.
back of.
Oh, it'd be so pretty.
Because of all the snowflakes. So gorgeous. That would work perfect.
I love it. And you know, these quilts are also really easy to make bigger.
You're right. And this one is from our Make It Christmas book. Now, in all of our books, we do have the instructions to make it bigger into a twin or a king queen. And we make it so easy. So when you're doing a lap size quilt, you just need 1 kit. If you're doing a twin size, it's 2 kits. And if you're doing a queen king, it's just 4 kits. But what's even better about this, not only are the instructions there and the kits are easy to buy, if you get 3 kits, you could get that Christmas book for free.
That's true. And then that's 8 patterns, all with enlargements.
Oh my goodness. So perfect. So perfect.
And who knows, there might be someone out there that you want to make a twin size for, or you want to make something a little bigger than a lap.
Yep. Absolutely agree. Perfect idea.
Well, let's get you that kit info. That is 8022527 Winter Blooms. And the pattern is Twinkles from the Make It Christmas book. And the alternate pattern we're suggesting is Friendship Star.
Now this pattern is ribbons, which what could be better for Christmas than beautiful ribbons? I love the way the fabric is placed so that it looks like the ribbons are just twirling on the surface. And I like it in this fabric too, because this is one of those quilt designs that you don't necessarily need a really heavily printed fabric. You just need something with a lot of contrast and a lot of beauty. And this is it because it has lots of gold. So let's put it on the table and check out that kit. Okay, I love this pattern because of the movement in it. And it does kind of have a little bit more of a modern aesthetic, which is kind of my thing a little bit. Other than I love the tradition, but I also love the modern. It's kind of interesting. I'm a little bit of a strange blend, I know.
I mean, why not both? You know, why can't you combine both?
That's right. And this one is gorgeous. And I also want to kind of point out, I love the way our long arm quilted this. She actually quilted the word believe in this. And I just think that was so neat. So there's a good idea if you decide to make the ribbons. Get your long arm to do that. I think that's very cool.
Well, and that's another good point for using kind of a more simple fabric, not one with a really bold print. You would have an opportunity to maybe play with your quilting a little more.
That's a great idea. I love that. Now, this fabric is gorgeous. Yes. This fabric has so much depth to it because we go from a very light red to a very dark red, and then we have our gold metallic stars on here, which is perfect for Christmas. And as you can see, it is definitely one of the parts of the ribbon on the surface here, as well as just a little bit on the border. Now, our number 2 fabric. This also has a lot of depth. It has those whites, those creams, those beiges, those grays. It is going to be a neutral and it's going to go with everything. So that makes the perfect contrast for our ribbon. And then our number 3 is this green. Now, it is the same. Yeah, it's just like,
so delicious.
It is. Okay. We always talk about food, don't we? We describe everything like food, but we like food.
Yeah. How do you describe your fabric? Is it yummy to you as well, or do you have a different kind of vocabulary for your fabric?
That is such a great question. We just go to food.
Yeah.
Okay, so our great green here also has the metallic on it. So it's like candy apple, right? It's going to be part of our ribbon here as well. And it is a kind of a duplicate fabric, like a double focus on this one, because these are the same fabric, just in different colorways. But it works so well. You know, I don't know how the red and green and white started for Christmas. I guess trees and the baubles that are red, but whoever did it did a great job with their contrast. So just love this one.
Oh, yeah.
Just think it has so much movement and what a great aesthetic.
And you know, we keep talking about food, but this looks like ribbons, but it could also look like candy canes.
Oh, yes. You're right. It does kind of look like candy canes.
That red and green.
Love that. So
another sweet treat.
Oh, I'm going to need a treat after this.
Me too.
All right, let's get the kit information for you on this one. It is called Christmas Wonder, and the number is 8022535. The pattern is ribbons, which is only available in the book Quilts on the Double. So we're also suggesting the pattern It's a Snap. So have you made any of these patterns that we showed today? We would love to hear.
Yeah, and do you have any other go-to Christmas patterns? What's yours? Like you need a Christmas pattern in a pinch? What do you go to? Let us know in the comments.
Perfect. It's Fran Morgan
and Hannah with Fabric Cafe.
Happy quilting!